I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for the love, the energy. Really looking forward to discussing this conversation and pouring energy into each one of you. We are distant by miles, but together by heart. So when you hold your hand like this and feel your hands touching one another, that's a hug from me to you. You know, I want to speak and take a moment of talking about how to use your voice, commit to sharing your voice and speaking up, even when your voice shakes, even when you're nervous, even when that part of your belly says, oh my God, there's so many things happening right now that's so different, so unexpected. I didn't know. What's my part? We're looking at history, and you were seen to be the most perfect person to be born in such a time as this. I'm going to be looking at your chat. So I have another computer right here that shows all your words in your chat. So I want to make sure I see you guys over there. I see Shar, I see Will, I see Emily, I see Marja. So keep typing over in chat, because I definitely love to see your comments and to see your feedback. But when I look at who are we in this time, that we're born in such a time as this, and our voices are meant to be heard. Your voice is meant to be heard. Your voice has to be heard. The world has to hear your voice. That when it's looked back on 20 years from now, and you were here, there's an opportunity to say, what did we do? Where did we go? How did I show up? How did I share? How did I show out? How did I do it? Moshe, enlarge that so I can see everyone's comments really good for me, please. And so I want you to write this down. I want you to get real clear that there are three things. There are three things that is your agenda right now. Has to be your agenda. Number one, to protect your memories. Oh, protect your memories. That right now you're creating the memories that you want to have 30 years from now. And you have to protect those memories. And the way you protect those memories are by your decisions you make in this moment. Your decision to speak up, your decision to show up, your decision to shine up, your decision to stay prayed up, your decision to love folks up, your decision to raise up, your decision to take forgiveness up, your decision to speak up. Like when you make the decision now about who you're choosing to be the next year, the next 3 years, the next 5 years, you're actually protecting your memories. Come on, type in chat if you know what I'm talking about. Let me know. I just want to make sure I'm in the right house, in the right room with the right folks. So that's number one, is to protect your memories. And number two, these are your three assignments. Like if you say, what am I up to these days? What's my high level agenda? I'm not talking about that 50,000 foot agenda. I'm talking about that 180,000 foot agenda. I'm talking about that agenda that won't allow you to get caught up in other people's mess, because your agenda is so much bigger. Your agenda is so much clearer. Your agenda is super, super mindful and understands where it is. It's that. Number two is to write your legacy. That's your number two agenda, to write your legacy. And if that requires you to speak up even when your voice is shaking, that requires you to hone your speaking voice, to own your speaking voice. That requires you to still that shaking baby in your belly. You know that, can I do this? Should I do this? Could I do this? What happens if it don't work? Still, be still, be still, be still. My commitment is greater than my fear. You're writing your legacy. I see you guys. Yes, yes, I see you. I see those comments over there. Come on, keep those comments coming. Heart me up. Let me know you understand what I'm talking about. Not just intellectually, but you understand from a soulful level what I'm talking about. Your cells tell you, absolutely. I hear sometimes your cells will respond even before your mind can kick in. Something just feels right. You don't quite understand it. It just feels right. And you go, oh my God, this, if I'm looking for a sign, this is it, right? So if number one is protecting your memories, and if number two is writing your legacy, then when we talk about being a change agent, when we talk about your dash exists so that you can make the world a better place. Your dash exists so that you can help shape something that doesn't exist. Your dash exists so that something can be born through you, that you can co-create something, that you can be the midwife of something that needed to come out only when you were here, so that our generations forward can benefit from it. Then that leads me to number 3. Means number 3, that your job while you're here, 180,000 foot, is to help sculpt the future masterpiece. Woo, honey, Michelangelo ain't got nothing on us. It's to help sculpt. Your job is to help sculpt, not the current masterpiece. No, 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 no. See, when you're committed to social change, when you're committed to global change, when you're committed to transformation, you will sculpt a masterpiece that you won't even fully see. When I got that, when I understood that, when I re-listened for the 1,000th time to Dr. King's speech, I might not be here when we get there, but I'm gonna set it up for you. It's like in basketball, the alley-oop. In the alley-oop, the first person that tees the ball up, he sets it up for the second guy to make the point. So we're the alley-oop. We're the first part of the future masterpiece. Someone else was the first part of this masterpiece. The fact that we can get online, globally, Black, white, brown, Asian, Latino, Spanish, straight, gay, men, women, all different socioeconomic backgrounds and all different religions and all different spiritual walks of life. Man, if this is not a basket made, this is it. This is masterpiece right here. And then there's a future masterpiece that you're sculpting. But it will require you to do some things you've never done before. Say some things you never said before. And become the woman you've always known yourself to be. Become man you've always known yourself to be. It's going to require you to touch the best version of yourself again and again and again and again. It's going to require you to do some things. And so I'm committed to be a part of the change that's coming. And I'm asking you, are you committed to be a part of the change that's coming, even if it makes your voice shake when you speak? Are you willing to evict the stinking thinking about not being good enough, not being smart enough, not being enough of something or too much of something else? Are you willing to evict the sinking thinking about comparison and competition, and understand that we are not here to compete, we're here to complement each other's completeness? I'll say it again. We're not here to compete. We're here to complement each other's completeness. You woke up complete. I woke up complete. Let's complement each other's completeness. And so I just stopped by to ask, will you be, can you be, will you sign up to be the change that you see forthcoming? See, the change doesn't come by Google download. The change doesn't show up in the microwave and it's instant. The change is not a sprint. Change is a marathon. Will you sign up for the marathon? Will you take your B12 sublingual under the tongue? Will you drink your morning protein shake? Will you hydrate? Will you take your electrolytes? Will you condition yourself? Will you build your glutes and build your hams and build your quads and build your biceps and build your triceps? Will you skip the elevator because you know the elevator doesn't exist and say, I'll take the stairs, sis. I got you. Will you be the change? I just stopped by to love on you and to charge you into the next greatest version of yourself. I see all the comments coming on. I see, yes, baby, B-O-L, I will be the change. Yes, ding, ding, doing it. Love you. I love you too. I get it. I came by to align with you. And so let me just be real clear that when you decide I'm going to be the change, I am going to be the change, you're signing up and you got to be willing to be aware of 3 things. You have a role, you have an opportunity, and you have a risk. Now I'm gonna try to give you as much as I can right now, but we're gonna invite you later to just join me for this amazing journey, because I'm on a whole new journey. I realized that I was born for such a time as this, that I am the change agent. I am the part. I'm not everything. I'm all of this inside of my imperfection. I'm all of this while I still try to figure it out. But if I'm willing to sign up for the inconvenience, the discomfort of being the change agent that God has called me to be, and lock and load with you, then we can figure it out while we're in movement. So there's three things you must be mindful of. You have a role, an opportunity, and a risk. And I want you to be aware of all of them. So get your pen. And we'll go into more of this as we dive. I'm going to invite you to join me on the I Am a Change journey. And we'll continue to have conversations and applications to be a change in this time and to create the future masterpiece. I'm committed to that. I wasn't committed to it as much as I am 18 months ago, but now, oh, I'm willing to take the gloves off. I'm willing to show up and show out and shine with a shaky voice. I'm willing to speak when I'm afraid. I'm willing to stay up late and get up earlier. I'm willing to have carefrontational conversations across color lines. I'm willing to have courageous cultural conversations. I'm willing to educate myself. I'm willing to educate my brother. I'm willing to educate my sister. I'm willing to hold hands like I've never held hands before. I'm just asking, are you? Because I want my grandchildren's children to say, man, my great-grandmother did her part for me. She did her part. And so I'm going to ask you, if you know the role, here's your role. You got one role, write this down. Disrupt stagnant thinking. Write that down. You got one role, disrupt stagnant thinking. And I know that sounds crazy and it sounds wild, but when you're willing to do that, and I can give you a lot of bullets under that, but I don't want to give you too much. I want to make it lean and mean so you can understand it real simple. Disrupt stagnant thinking. You want to be a change agent. You want to be the change. You want to be a link in the chain called change. Be willing to disrupt stagnant thinking, even if the first form of stagnant thinking you disrupt is your own. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Be willing to transform confrontation into carefrontation. Be willing to transform what we now know as confrontation, rigid, pushback, right, wrong, to carefrontation. I understand you, I hear you, and here's another opportunity to see that in a different viewpoint. I understand you, I hear you, and here's another opportunity to see that through another set of lenses. Your role is to disrupt stagnant thinking. Your opportunity, now I want you to see this, your opportunity is to open up a path of connection and healing that has never existed before. To open up a path of connection, healing, and cultural intimacy. Write that down. A path of connection, healing, keywords, cultural intimacy. I'm only talking to you if you want to be the change. If you don't want to be the change, and you're not interested in being a part of the change, then this is just siesta for you. This is just hang out with Lisa time for you. I'm talking to those who say, sign me up to make this world a better place. Not the US a better place, but this world a better place. Sign me up. I'm talking to you. I came for you. I came for you, and I came to let you know that I'm with you. And I came to let you know that this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And I'm all right with that marathon. And this is not all going to be easy. And it's going to require us to get out of our convenience and live in our conviction. I just want you to know. And this isn't going to happen overnight. This is going to require emotional conditioning, mental conditioning, physical conditioning, linguistic conditioning. And I'm down for all of it. And I just wanted to stop by and see, are you down with me to be the change? Now, this last part is the risk. And I want you to be really clear that there's a risk involved. So whenever you do an investment, and I've invested in companies and I've had companies invest in me, there has to be a risk clause. And the risk says, listen, this might cost you. This might cost you some comfort. It might cost you some friends. It might cost you the need, the requirement to evict some previous thinking. Come on, you guys. It might cost you. Are you willing to pay the cost? Because the risk is your fear of not being approved, your fear of not being accepted may supersede your desire to evoke change, your fear of not being approved, your fear of not being accepted may supersede, this is the risk, your desire to evoke change. Watch out. Your fear of being too uncomfortable might supersede your desire to evoke change. Your fear of failing might supersede your desire to evoke change. Hold on. Your fear of succeeding, your fear of being seen, your fear of realizing your own power might supersede the desire to evoke change. When the social unrest occurred a few months ago, the world wanted me to speak out. As a matter of fact, a few people were angry at me because I decided to post that I'm praying for George Floyd's family. I'm praying for his daughter. I'm praying for his family. I'm praying for his siblings. I'm praying first before I speak. I choose to pray. And while many people loved on me, understood me, there were many who attacked me. And when I finally went live in my Facebook Live, I was very clear to speak to everyone in my community and those individuals who attacked me. And I said something like this. I said, I chose to pray so that I can access my compassion and my empathy, because anger is easy to access. I chose to pray because at the very same time that the marches and the protests started, my son was getting in the car, starting a 20-hour journey from California to Seattle, Washington. And as a 6'2" African-American male, I had to just pray for my son's well-being. I looked in the camera and I said to those who attacked me, I said, you respond any way you need to respond, but there's a calling on my life. And this calling on my life is to be an igniter of unity, an igniter of humanity. I don't belong to just Black people. I don't just belong to women, and I don't just belong to Christians. I belong to the human race. So if you want to stay angry, do whatever you need to do, but I need to be obedient to my calling, and it said pray. And so I hold you, sister, and I hold you, brother, to sit inside the who you know yourself to be at such a time as this. Use your voice in the way that you know, even if your voice shakes, use it. Muster up the courage, even if you only get it one spoonful at a time. Link into someone else's faith, borrow someone else's faith, because when you don't have faith in what you can do, I can guarantee you there's a tribe member right next to you saying, borrow my faith. I got enough faith in you for the both of us. I was okay with my silence, and I'm okay with my voice. And I want to invite you, in whatever your charge is, whether it's the charge for women's rights, whether it's the charge to end hunger, whether it's the charge to end homelessness, whether it's the charge to unite humanity, whether it's the charge to eliminate injustice, whether it's a charge, whether it's anything, I want to invite you to stand up. I want to invite you to stand up. I want to invite you to be willing to be seen. I want to invite you to be willing to get it right while you're running. I want you to invite you to step to the edge and be willing to take the leap, even at the chance that we might fall. Because I think we'd rather tell the story when we sit down at 98, at 105, I think we'd rather tell the story that way back there in 2020 and 2021 and 2022, I kept getting to the edge and I kept leaping. I got some bruises on me to show you, young man, young woman, because that's the older us showing our bruises. But I only got the bruise because I leaped. I don't want to tell the story that I never leaped. And so I'm inviting you to be the change that we're looking for. If there's anything that you've seen in the last 6 months, in the last 6 years that doesn't look right, I think you're perfect for the job to help us manage it. I didn't always think that I was perfect for the job. I didn't always think, because I thought that perfect for the job meant that I had everything right. DeWanda said, yes, leap. Right. Allison says, oh yeah, girl, get it right. And Maria says, you know, how we can tell our story. Yes, and this is where we learn how to tell our story. It's where we learn how to share our story, because in our stories, we create cultural intimacy. In our stories, we create conscious awareness. In our stories, we have our compassion. In our stories, we find our likeness while celebrating and respecting our differences. We are not alike. We are not alike. And I can't wait to celebrate your differences from me. I can't wait to learn about them. I'm not going to water down your differences by trying to say we are alike. I want to know how you eat and what you eat and how you worship. I want to know the difference so that my mind can expand, because a mind expanded can never ever take its original form. Oh, I expand my mind, even to my own discomfort. Allow your mind to be expanded, even if it causes you a bit of discomfort. I came to challenge you. I came to charge you. I came to say, listen, you have to choose this journey if it feels right to you, but you don't have to walk it alone if you choose it. So many of my sisters and brothers are afraid to choose the journey of social justice out loud because you think you might be by yourself. I'm here to tell you, you will not be by yourself. We got your back. I got your back. Oh, man. Because when we sit down and tell the story, or better yet, when we have transitioned and someone else tells our story, I want them to say, here lies a woman who, here lies a man who played full out. When they tell your story, when they read the entire bio about who you were, what you did, here lies a woman who, I mean, she was a change agent. She disrupted any form of stagnant thinking that we had while she was here on the planet. She challenged our greatness. She required us to stand in unity. What story do you want to be told? Be that change. Here lies a woman who, Joan. Here lies a man who showed us humanity by the way she loved, showed us humanity by the way he forgave, showed us he was courageous. He stood on the front line. He had difficult conversations. She was willing to acknowledge, I don't know enough. She was willing to get in the books and learn cultural history and not about her own culture. Here lies a woman who, here lies a man who was willing to be the change, was willing to pick up the mantle for change, was willing to own that we are currently living in a masterpiece with all of this dysfunction. Because if you compare it to 1950, this is a masterpiece. And there's another masterpiece to be sculpted. Oh, I'm not saying it's perfect. Don't get me wrong. I'm not accepting everything that's going on. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's all good. Don't get me wrong. But I am saying that they sculpted a masterpiece for us to pick up. It ain't done yet. So can you get your hands dirty with me? Are you willing to get your hands dirty with me? Are you willing? I could get right. Dave said, dirty. Amen, yana, yana. Are you willing? Like, I want to make my dash dance. I want my dash to mean something. And if my dash meaning something means I gotta pull up some extra courage, I gotta harness my moral courage. I have to be willing to live in my conviction, not my convenience. I gotta be willing to piss some people off. I gotta be willing to have some hard conversations. I gotta be willing to learn more than I currently know. Come on, y'all. If I'm talking to you, let me know. If I'm talking to you, let me know. Type your name in. If I gotta be willing to be a student in order to be an effective teacher, if I gotta be willing to let you see sometimes I do get mad, I do get pissed off. I'm all for the greatness in the world. I'm all for unification, but you gotta understand there's some sister soldier in me too. I'm just saying. Are you willing? I see all of it. I'm just saying, are you willing? Are you willing to say transformation also gets messy? Transformation gets a little dirty. Transformation gets a little weary. Transformation also gets tired. Transformation turns confrontation into carefrontation, but it is confrontational at times. Transformation means acknowledging my smallness. Transformation means looking at my own prejudice. Hello? Looking at my own prejudice. Hello? Transformation means swallowing some of my scared and saying it anyway. Transformation means every day getting up and eating a slice of humble pie. Whew, I don't know if they're ready for me. I don't know. Are we ready for Q&A? I'm about ready to go into questions and answers. I don't even know if y'all have any questions, but if you got a question, I'm gonna bring you the answer, because I'm coming to get the soldiers and the generals and the gladiators and the change makers. I'm coming to get the unicorns that says, count me in. Count me in, don't leave me out. I don't even know exactly how we're gonna get there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have a map yet. But if you say count me in, Father says fire, then we're gonna create it. We're gonna navigate this together. Yes, count me in. Y'all saying count me in. Count me in. Don't count me out. I was born for such a time as this. Type that in chat, y'all. I was born for such a time as this. I take my vitamins, I hydrate, I take my B12, I take my vitamin C for such a time as this. I do my squats, I shake my glutes and my quads for such a time as this. Man, I'm just saying. Because I want to leave this place better for my unborn grandchildren. I want my time here to say that I did my best to create a future masterpiece. I want my time here to say I didn't just live my life for me. I don't want to just live my life for me. That's not okay. I want to live my life for them coming behind me. Because I'm here, because Dr. King, Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Cesar Chavez, I'm here because somebody thought about me. Somebody had me in their rear view mirror while they were forging a future. They said, I might not see her. I might not be here when she's born. I might not know that she's going to sit in front of her computer on that day in July. I might not know the day, the time, but she's coming. And it's my responsibility to pave the way for her. I want to do my part. I'm ready to do my part. Count me in. I am the change. I am a part of the change. I will help make the change. I will speak for change. I will demand change. And I won't have to do it alone. And neither will you. Speak. Rise. Learn. Join us. Change.